team. Hopefully this works okay. I'm working at my phone this week because we had lightning here in Sydney where I am, and massive storms, and it just killed my NBN. So hopefully this is coming to you loud and clear. And if it's jittery, I'm sorry, I'll delete it later on, but I'm going to try anyway. All right, so what I'm going to talk about this week is it's kind of November. Sort of three facts. One is it's November 2020. We've had the year 2020 like you've never had before, where we're doing a whole bunch of virtual work. And at this time of year, a lot of people are thinking about how do I get my team together to say thank you for a really tough year, to kind of get them to connect a bit and have fun, and just to kind of bring the juices back. And then how do I kind of prepare them for 2021 and get that to happen? So what I'm going to do today is talk about why team days don't work and what you can do instead. Let me just fire up the iPad because it's always better to talk it through visually. Here's the thing, two simple ideas. The first simple idea is for any of you who've been on an away day that just goes for a single day, what you realise is that about a week after you get back, what happens? Yeah, most of the time, everyone just goes back to the way they were doing things before. The second is that often what happens to whatever you come up with, you know, all the stuff you put on the flip charts, all the promises you make to one another. What happens to that? Yeah, quite often it doesn't happen, right? Now, sometimes it does, but what I've done is, I guess, I've looked at the circumstances where it does, and I've looked at the work that I've done over time, and I've turned that into a system that means that the way I work to produce ongoing connection, so on trust, but also ongoing follow through. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Let me share that with you. There we go. Okay, so what you should see there is a blank screen, but it will not be blank for too long. What I'm going to talk about is why they don't work. All right, so first thing to say is that there's essentially 5 mistakes, or sort of 5 problems that happen when we think of it as a single event. The first thing that happens is that the team kind of don't buy in. Right? So it's not that they don't buy in; they don't buy into the idea that overnight that there's some magic is going to occur and everything's going to be fixed. The second is that the virtual platform doesn't work well in one day, okay? People get exhausted and tired, so you're much better to kind of, I'll talk about the alternative later in a little bit. The third is that essentially a team is a set of relationships. I'll talk more about that in a sec, but relationships take time to develop. They don't just develop on one day, having a drink together or doing whatever, okay? The fourth idea is that strategy is not about words on a page. We'll talk about the alternative in a sec. And the fifth one is that it's much better to partner for change than expecting a day to work, right? A single day to work. Okay, so most of your team, rather than knowing that you know that change is going to happen magically because of one day, they know that actually it's over 12, 18 months that the magic happens. Okay, so over that period of time, that's enough time for you to really change the dynamics in your relationships and make things different and better. The virtual platform, all right? So what I've been doing, rather than one day, I will aim to do 2-hour sessions maximum. And even if you looked at doing 4 of those in a month with particular objectives, that's much better than doing a single day that doesn't have any follow through. Right? Now, relationships take time. So what relationships do I mean? I don't just mean the relationships within a team. Often what happens on days like this is we obviously work on the relationships in the team, but we also take a systemic view and look at customers. You know, we usually do the kind of SWOT analysis. And you look at expectations of stakeholders and investors. Well, this is what I do anyway. And all of that starts to reveal the broader system that the team work within. Now, the work that I do, what it's designed to do is essentially over time start to improve and establish better relationships, better systems, to shift the system so that all those relationships are built on mutual interest. Now, that's my dog, Billy. Hey, Billy. Shush. She's obviously seen a cat or something. Over time, you're looking to change these relationships and shift these bit by bit. Now, you can't do that in a day. And so my point of view around strategy not being words on a page is that it's actually strategy in action that matters. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean that over a period of 6 weeks, what's much better to do is you to take the assumptions that you come up with on your 2-hour session, first 2-hour session, and test these. Apply different strategies to try and change them, and then come back. So in these first 2 hours, we build that. We build those assumptions, strategic assumptions. We test them, and we come back and we reflect, learn, and plan forward. And that is a better strategic process than a single away day. That makes sense, because you're learning from doing. So for that type of process to occur, we've got to much more focus on partnering for change over a period of time, because the external world is changing so much. You need to think about doing it that way. And a partner, rather than looking at sort of a consultant that sits outside of the client and gives advice, the client and the consultant are intertwined and helping over time new results and new insights to be created. So I guess the point of today was, if you're thinking about planning for next year, resetting, engaging your team in a conversation and helping them, I guess, feel a bit optimistic about the year ahead, you can take them to the pub. And I would do more than that. And this is not just an opportunity to feel good. This is an opportunity to be better. And, you know, if you do it the old way, you know relationships take time. The team won't buy in if they think that this is going to change in a day. And strategy isn't developed through words on a page. It's developed by taking action, reflecting, and seeing what works. So, yeah, again, of course, if you like what you hear, you want to talk about how this could work for you, let me know. I'll send you a link, and you can book in a quick half an hour where we can talk initially about where we're a good fit to work together. Hope that's been useful. Take care. See you.